Hi there everybody, and welcome to another video. On today's video I have this Peugeot 3008. This is a petrol automatic engine here. I think this is the 1.6 engine, but it could be the 1.2. I'm not 100% sure at the minute. However, it is a petrol engine, and this model is a 2018. I'm gonna be changing the oil and the oil filter. Gonna top up some screen wash fluid, and we'll have a quick look at the coolant. Now this engine here is pretty much used in all the minis anyway. It's pretty much the same engine, and it usually takes about 4.3 liters of oil, and they have recommended a very specific oil in the so this particular one here is the one we got from the dealer, 0W30 ACEAC2, as you can see there. Specifically because apparently some of these engines have been suffering some problems where the oil is getting consumed fairly quickly, and then you end up with an engine light in the car, and obviously if you keep driving it you may damage the engine. So anyway, they gave us this, and I've got the filter, so I've got a sun plug washer there and the filter as well from the main dealer, which looks like this, just looks like that with an O-ring inside. Right, so the reason I got the manual here is because I was looking for the oil capacity, but it's not in this manual, so not much I can do about that. Right, so I'm going to start with topping up some screen wash fluid. That goes here, and as per all my videos I always recommend using the correct fluid. So screen wash fluid, you can buy it ready mixed or concentrated, and just pour it in there. Obviously if it's concentrated you want to mix it, but don't just put water in there, because in winter it will freeze and it might expand and it might break your tank, but also it won't come out the jets. So use the proper stuff. Also don't use just water with washing up liquid, it gets messy. Oh yeah, top that up, and if you buy the 5-liter bottle you can keep the rest in the luggage compartment. Right, so now we can check the coolant, and we have this tank here. Check the coolant. You can already see the color of the coolant up to this sort of line here, more or less. On the side there is some markings, if we can see that. So we have a max written in there, max and mini. So this is at the max at the moment. So coolant level is okay, and now we can try to open this so we can check the percentage of antifreeze. Right, just make sure you open that when the engine is cold. This one is a little bit hot, but so we'll be careful with it. Releasing the pressure. And I have this gadget here. I'm going to suck some of that coolant. and it's gonna tell us our antifreeze percentage there. So that's settling around -25, which pretty much means, or even -28, which means for this coolant to freeze, temperature outside will have to be -30, -35 or so, which is a fairly good temperature anyway for here. For the UK, we don't really get those temperatures, but if you were in the North Pole, obviously you would want to have more antifreeze in there to withstand maybe -40, -50, I don't know. But if you were in the Sahara Desert where it's very hot, you don't need so much antifreeze, but you still want some antifreeze because it's got anti-corrosion additives, and that protects your engine from corrosion. So having said that, we got our level, and we could see the color of the antifreeze as well. We could see the percentage of how much we have. It's all good. You definitely want to have antifreeze there, not just water. Again, same as the other screen wash fluid, because if you only have water and it freezes in winter, it can damage your engine, water pump, and other things. Right, happy with that. Moving on now, we're going to move on to the oil and the oil filter. So I'm going to start by opening here the oil fill cap and pull the dipstick out. And I found out this engine is a 1.6 petrol. Now the oil filter is hiding under this section here. So what I've done is I've undone this Jubilee clip here with a flathead screwdriver, so you can undo that. And then the one here, there's another one just there, which would normally be sitting a little bit higher. It's just fallen because I've taken it out. I've unplugged these holes, so press the green button there and unplug it. I've unplugged these holes as well, so push on the sides here and you can pull that hose out. It's already out. Same with these hose, pull on the side, on the here, and you can take it out like that, and unplug this by pulling the clip just here. You pull the clip up a bit and this will come out, so that clip there. You can then remove this a little bit to one side. Then you're going to have a 10mm bolt here. Remove that, and you want to press on this clip and the one at the bottom, and you'll be able to take this out as well. And as you take it out, it's going to come out from the back as well. Like so. And the hose that is clipped on here is just this one here. You want to remember to clip that back on when you fit this back. And our filter is sitting right there. Still kind of hiding away, but the tip of it is just there. You're gonna need a 27mm to go on that. Make sure it sits properly. Oh, there, 27mm socket. And then we can use our ratchet. Okay, slowly take it out, maybe leave it there a few seconds, allow some air into it, because this will be full of oil, and if you take it really out really quickly, you'll make a bit of a mess underneath, which sometimes you still get a bit of a mess, and you need to rinse it a little bit with some brake cleaner. So I'll leave it there a few minutes. Okay, let's take it out now. Might still be making a bit of a mess, but how long can I wait? Especially you have to get it through here. Okay, bit of a pain in the neck. So that was okay. Yeah, so not much of a mess there at all. It's just this bit where I struggled to get it out with my one hand. So you'll have two hands and that'll be okay, but nothing has dripped on the side. So that should be okay if you leave it there a few minutes to drain itself. And that's our filter we're going to prepare later. But that technically just pulls out. And then we're gonna just give this a rinse with some brake cleaner and change the O-ring. It should all be here. Okay, now I'm gonna get the car up and I'm gonna drain the oil. So looking at the car from underneath, we have this cover we want to remove to expose the sump, and it's held in by a number of 10mm bolts, which I've removed most of them already. I think I got only this one left, but once you take that out, we'll have access to our sump. And also okay, I may need to release, may have to release this one as well, and this one and this one, and take that cover out. So with that cover out, we have our sump here. And yes, you do need to remove the 3 10mm bolts that are in these holes, and then this cover slides out. You can see these parts are sticking in there, so you definitely need to remove those 3 as well. Now you need an 8mm type of 8mm Allen key to open, crack this open, and make sure you have an oil pan to catch the oil. And again, remember, if the engine's been running a lot, you are at risk of burning yourself, so just make sure to be careful with the oil. If the engine is really hot, just be careful not to burn yourself. Now this is always messy, always the worst sump plug bolt there is. Okay, that's it. There's the washer in there. We're gonna change it, and for now we're gonna let that drain. So it should be 4.25 liters sort of thing. Okay, so while the oil is draining, we have our oil filter here housing, and the O-ring. I just pulled it out a bit of that groove there. You can see that. So you just want to pull that out all the way, obviously, and get your new one in. But before I get the new one in, I'm just going to rinse these with some of that brake cleaner, just to give it a clean. Okay, I've cleaned my filter, got the new O-ring around it, and I put a little bit of grease around it. You can also use a bit of oil to put around that O-ring. And we have our new filter here. Just push it in there, and then this is ready to go. And some plug bolt is here, so we want to take out this old washer put the new washer in, and that is ready to go back in as well. But my oil is still dripping a little bit. So while we're waiting for our oil to drip, if you find a little bit of oil around here, then you will notice some of the oil from the oil filter housing up there may have actually dripped down this end, and also some, you can just about see a drip there. So you can go ahead and rinse the area with some brake cleaner, because brake cleaner rinses the oil very well and it dries quickly. So just clean the area, make sure you leave it nice and clean. That way when you check this next year, you're not gonna have oil around here and it could confuse you and make you think you have a leak or anything. So just make sure whenever you finish down here, it's all nice and clean. So brake cleaner is perfect for rinsing oil. Okay, it's time to get our sun plug bolt back in here. I always do it by hand. First, make sure it's going in the correct way. Rinse the area, as we said. Make sure it's nice and clean. And then we can tighten that. Right, now I'm just going to torque these to 30 Newton meters. And that's it, that's enough force. Now we can put our cover back on here and lower the car and put some oil. Right, it's time to fit our filter back in. And on the back of this cover it says 25 Newton meters, by the way. So just have a look in there and you'll find the torque setting. So now we can get this in here. Just have to wiggle it through there and it should go in. And then put it in. Try to screw it in there by hand. That way you will know it's going in the correct sense. Okay, got it there by hand as much as I can. I could feel it was easy to screw it on, and now we can put the tool on. We have to push it in there properly. Okay, and now we can tighten the rest. If you have a torque wrench, obviously get it to 25 Newton meters. And that's it. Okay, with your filter on, now we can refit all these things. Kind of goes without saying. This just you have to line it up at the back, get it in the correct place. This hose goes onto the back of another hose, goes inside another hose back there, but I may need my two hands for that. So you have to plug that in there, plug it in here, and then just refit these the way you came out. Okay, no rocket science. So that goes back in there. Don't forget your hose here, plug it back in, plug that in. This hose, plug it back in there, and this one, plug it back in there. Make sure you close these and the Jubilee clips, because if you don't, air can leak into the system and then cause an engine light, obviously. So just make sure everything is nice and close. This is firmly in there, and the little hose down here, it's in the correct plug, or just in the holding clip basically. Now we can move on to top up some oil. Open the oil fill cap, take your dipstick out. On your dipstick, we're gonna be aiming to be on this end. So this side will be the minimum, this will be the maximum. We're gonna put 4.25 or 4.3 liters and then see where we are. It might be a little bit over, but that should be okay, because once you run the engine, some of the oil goes into the oil filter housing and it stays there. So then this goes back down to normal. I'm gonna clean this dipstick as well with some brake cleaner, because it takes the shine away, and then it's easier to check the oil level. So let's pour some oil first. Right, got my 4.25 in there. Now we can close this. I've cleaned my dipstick so it looks nice and dry, so we can now check. Now you can see the shiny area is completely all the way up to here. And that's about normal, because that's what we're expecting. We're expecting it to be a bit over. So I'm happy with that level. I'm gonna put this back in, and now we can start the engine. So just to recap, we put that back in, we close the cap, we got our filter in, and we got our sun plug bolt in and torqued to 30 Newton meters. So we know everything is in place and that we have oil. So we can. So now that we're sure of all of that, we can start the car confidently. So get into the car, press the brake, and start the car. And just make sure no oil pressure lights or nothing comes on in here. No engine lights, oil related. So that there would be, that little one there that came on is the oil pressure. If that was coming on or flashing, then you would want to switch the engine off and just make sure there's no obvious leaks around your engine. But otherwise, this is pretty much it. So I hope the video helps. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next video. So thank you for watching.